All right, we are ready for our next panelist. Life as a creative. We're inviting up Anne, Liese, Steph, and Greg. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, but come on up, give them a round of applause as they come. Take a seat, any seat. Get cozy. How are all of you today so far? Feeling good? A little nervous? Are you? So yep, right there.
We're all good.
You're on.
I am. Yes, can you hear me?
The bottom row to the right.
Oh, here we go. I act like this is my first rodeo.
If you can just start here, introduce yourself, why you're here, what your causes are, what you're passionate about, and your involvement here in San Diego Swim Week this evening.
Hello. Can you hear me? My name is Liese Victoria, and I'm very excited to be here, so thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm a fashion stylist, and I also produce fashion shows, and I'm a professor at San Diego Mesa College. So a lot of my students are actually here today kind of volunteering and getting a little backstage experience. If you are looking for those kind of opportunities, that's somebody that I would love to connect you with. So that's why I'm really excited to kind of be a part of this event and connect with Eyga and her team. They've been amazing to kind of bring Mesa College into the fold a little bit this year. So we're looking to grow with them. And that's kind of the work that I'm doing right now.
Wow. A lot of women. Hi, my name is Greg Reitman. I'm a filmmaker, and I also run the Blue Water Film Festival down here in San Diego. The purpose of Blue Water is we curate the top environmental films in the world, ocean, water, nature, short, feature, docs, animation. Our dates for 2024 will be March 21st to the 24th. We tie in typically with a UN holiday. Last year or this year, we tied in with World Oceans Day, which is June 8th. Next year, we'll be tying in with World Water Day, which is on March 20th. And as a creative, pretty much I make content that impacts the world. So I made a film back in 2008 that won the Sundance Audience Award called Fuel. And then I made another film, another doc called Rooted in Peace, which I was asking the question, why is the world so violent, and why don't we connect with nature? And that film turned into a book, an Audible, and I'm also a fellow professor at New York University, Tisch, and I'm here to support San Diego Swim Week with the idea of, as a collective, I think it's really important that we're all together and we learn about what everyone's doing and how we can support. So as a festival, we're always looking for fellow patriots to support our mission. And one of the particular things we're looking for is to grow our Athletes for the Oceans program. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, hello. I'm Anne Degischer. I'm here representing the beauty industry, so hair and makeup. I'm a hairstylist, makeup artist, and I led the team that did all of the hair and some of the makeup for today for our gorgeous models. I'm also the director of events and design for Paul Mitchell The School San Diego, which is just around the corner this way on 4th and A. So it was my team of future professionals today that did all of the work on the models. So I'm here to represent the beauty industry and the next generation of beauty industry professionals that are entering the workforce.
I needed Anne this morning. My name is Steph Mi. I am a full-time creator and model. I started modeling when I was, my throat's gonna get dry. I started modeling when I was 14 in a traditional modeling agency. And then I went full-time when I was 18. I did things like Sports Illustrated swimsuits, and then I just decided to do things on my own, and now I have my own golf channel. It's called Golf with Me. I produce, edit, run the whole thing. I travel across the country and golf with athletes, actors, ex-athletes, anyone you can name it. But I am like one of very few females that likes to golf, so I'm trying to change that, and collaborating with other people and stuff, so.
That's awesome. You all have such amazing work. Give it up for them. I'd like to hear a little bit. All of you sound like you have such amazing experience behind the scenes and so much hands-on experience. How important is that for people to know how much work goes into not only the work you do with your industry, but something like this? I'm sure you can look at this and say, wow, like it looks amazing. So much work goes into it, but maybe not everybody gets to see or feel the impact of that. Anyone can answer this one.
I'll jump on. I would say if you ever get the opportunity to volunteer at an event in any capacity, whether it is modeling or being backstage, any type of event, doesn't have to be a fashion event, I think that gives you a great deal of insight about all the hard work that goes into it, all the different creatives that come together and the energy that they're sharing, and just kind of navigating the challenges and all the things that can come with that. So that would be my recommendation as a person who kind of came into the industry and initially was volunteering backstage as a dresser. I was like, oh my God, there's so much that goes in behind the scenes that audiences wouldn't be aware of if they didn't get that kind of sneak peek. So I just think it's fun to kind of be in those creative environments and to work with other creatives and collaborate in that way. So definitely, keep your mind open to that opportunity. And there is so many different ways that you might be able to be involved. And the panelists kind of shared a few of those, but just reach out and connect with different events and just see how you might be able to get involved.
Figure out this mic. I agree. But I think the best thing of no one cares about what we do behind the scenes. But yes, I agree. Like more people, more hands behind the scenes, they can appreciate what we do. With me and what I do, I try to record things like as authentic as possible. I try to get the behind the scenes, my story. I'm on every platform you can think of besides LinkedIn, Greg. Greg was asking me why I don't have a LinkedIn. I need to get on that. I'm slacking. But I try to put out the most authentic pieces of work that I can possibly put out so people can relate and appreciate what we do behind the scenes, because it is not, you're right, it's not seen, but I'm trying to make that to the forefront. So I think more of that, and then people can appreciate it and relate to it.
One of my favorite things to coach the young stylists that I work with is to show them how much that their creativity and their skill and input does matter in something like this. Just for example, today backstage, when one of the stylists I was working with, asks a model like, "What are we doing today?" And I get to show them like, we're leading the beauty today. What do you think? Like the stylists and the everyone involved in the show, we're here because they put their trust in us because we're the expert in hair and makeup. It doesn't mean, of course, you don't take personal preferences into consideration, but we're here to be the authority on that and giving them, like empowering them to be like, we know best. Like this is our area. We got it. So that's one of the things that is lesser seen, is like whose mind that came from, and it's not just one mind, it's lots.
Mm-hmm. Taking the initiative to get into like a leadership position. I like that. Speaking of leadership, both of you are in leadership positions within your passions and projects that you do. I'd love to hear from you about what kind of work you do or what kind of insight you would give someone about taking initiatives like that, even when it comes to opportunities that may not be right in front of someone, that might be laid out. But taking an initiative to make an opportunity for yourself or that you don't see yet.
Well, I'll plug LinkedIn. I actually make my students create a LinkedIn profile, even if they don't feel like that's really relative for what they're trying to do, because they can reach out to other industry professionals that maybe have already kind of paved their way and learn from their journey. So I think that's just a great way for them to kind of see what somebody else is doing and then what's going to be a good fit for themselves. So whether you're just starting out or if you're building your resume or you're updating it, I just think that gives you an opportunity to connect with other industry professionals. So that is one of the assignments that I have in pretty much all of my classes. But there's just different ways that you can kind of connect and learn from what other people are doing. You just need to go out there, be proactive, be open-minded, and kind of dive in head first and kind of figure things out with whoever you're going to be working with.
I'm just going to echo you. You're just fabulous. No, I mean, like, right. Learn by doing. I mean, I always say, like, my motto is I sort of like throw them in the lake and just watch them swim. And they typically tend to, they might sputter in the water here and there, but eventually they will find their rhythm. they'll find their current, and they'll find their way. And as a leader, you just have to know sometimes they need a little bit more hand holding, sometimes they don't. But in truth, they all know how to swim. It's just sometimes they have a lot of fear, not knowing if they're good enough or what. But really, it's just getting them into that comfort zone and just allowing them to just excel. And so what we try to do at Blue Water is really just, put some milestones so they kind of know where they're going, and put some, I wouldn't say like mentors, but we just make it available where they can, talk with different people that have experience so that they can dial in and kind of learn. I find that's probably the best thing. Like I have a particular writer who wrote the Mandalorian story, right? And he's like great writer. He gets paid like ridiculous money, but he's like the nicest, kindest person. He's from Michigan. And sometimes we get a bunch of writers and they just have this fear, and where do you start and how do you get going? And so I always get Christopher, on the Zoom with them, and he just sort of, breaks it down for them. So it just makes it really easy. And the first thing he always says is just write. Don't worry about being judged. Don't worry about being creative. Just write what you love, find your passion. And for him, he gives his backstory about, he loved comics, he loved Marvel, he got his first job there. And, now this is what he does as a writer. But so that's some of the things we try to do.
That was awesome. All right, one last question for everyone. What is the best piece of advice you've gotten along the journey? I know it's probably hard to whittle down to maybe one, but you can give like the most impactful and meaningful to you at least.
I don't know if I got this advice, but I'll just give it. I think that like technical skill rules all. So whatever you're doing, if you put your focus on getting really good at it, then you'll have all the options in the world. So it's a very simplified way of looking at things. But I think if you practice your craft and really hone in and focus on what it is that you're working on and practice, then you're good to go.
I agree. I've always wanted to be a model since I was younger, and I was told no. So I don't take no. Like there's no such thing as no. And I think you should go for whatever you dream of. You can literally do anything with the power of social media. You can do anything. And people think I sound crazy when I tell them that. Like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, I just figured it out. And I mean, our phones, like there's ways to make money. There's ways to just make an impact and be powerful, but you can do anything. Don't take no for an answer.
When I was in Australia, I met a guy and he said, "He who fails to prepare prepares to fail." And I think he said it to me when I was 23. I don't want to age myself too much, but I never forgot that. And I learned how important preparation is. Just don't show up. Do your homework, get prepared, whatever you do. And so that's one of the things in the back of my mind. I always say to myself, like, did I do my homework?
I love what everybody just shared. To add to that, I would just say that no opportunity is too small. As a teacher working with students, sometimes they have really, really big dreams and they just kind of want to shoot for the sky. Definitely you should. But along the way, there's going to be small opportunities that you should consider and take advantage of. And also finding a mentor. I mean, even at my age, I still have a mentor in my life that helps me. So I don't think at any point that you grow out of that. And I think it's important to kind of learn from other people that are in industry and whatever you're trying to do, and just kind of talk to them and have them along your path and along your journey to see, how did they get where they're at and how are you going to get where you're at? So taking that advice is really important for everyone to be open to.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for sharing that. We're in a master class right now. Really quick, if you can all just share where people can find and connect with you.
Geez, I'm still not used to this. You can find me at Steph Mi. It's STPHMI. I'm all over everything besides LinkedIn. Greg called me out, but I will start it. Okay, I'm gonna get on that. Steph Mi.
Paul Mitchell, the school, San Diego, right down on 4th and A. We take up the whole block, but on social media at PMTS San Diego, and me, myself, and Teresa _ hairstylist.
You can find me at Bella Blank XO. My company is Bella Blank Productions. But if you, as a creative or somebody in industry, might ever be open to getting a volunteer or an intern, and that might be something you want to look into, connect with me, because I'd love to help place you with a student that might be in marketing or fashion or business and whatever industry you might be working in. So just be open to that as well, because that gives somebody else an opportunity to learn from what you're doing.
Well, the Blue Water Film Festival, so BWFF, hashtag, hope everybody will dial in on Blue Water Film Festival, BWFF, and then at Greg Reitman, GREGREITMAN.
Amazing. Let's give them a hand.